All right, so it's Monday, so you know we're going to start with the NFL whip. The NFL whip around. Unless something dramatically different happens, we start every Monday during the NFL season with the NFL whip. And I want to start by directly addressing you, Giant fan. Yes, you, Giant fan. Because right about now, you've got to be extremely conflicted. Extremely conflicted. I mean, on the one hand, your team is not only watchable again, it's actually one of the most watchable teams in the NFL right now. But on the other hand, you just suffered one of the most impossible and excruciating collapses in NFL history to fall to 2-5. And the gap between 3-4 and 2-5 is enormous, especially for you, Giant fan. The gap is almost as wide as a Giants point after attempt. If you see me working, if you're watching on the stream, I mean, the Giants have come a long way, but you simply cannot lose that game. You cannot be up 19-0 going into the fourth quarter and lose that game. You can't surrender 33 points in the fourth quarter after shutting out the opposing offense for the first three quarters. You can't miss 2 extra points and then a 2-point conversion and lose by 1. None of these things are possible. I mean, anything is possible, but none of these things are possible. Except that. This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0 going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. How the hell is any of that possible? The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN. But according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0% to win that game. And anytime I see one of those win probability rates of 99%, I just assume that that team is going to lose. As soon as they post that 99.98 win probability rate, I know they'll lose. And they do, generally. And the Giants proved me right. Credit, though, where credit is due. Credit to Bo Nix for getting it together after 3 rough quarters to lead a gritty comeback. And then no credit to the Giants kicker, whoever the hell you are, whoever the hell you have 99 on your back. I'm pretty sure we don't even have to bother figuring out who the hell you are because you got to be gone, right? You know they carried this guy in the practice squad for 2 years? Truly one of the most bizarre fourth quarters ever. Complete with not 1, but 2 miracle tip ball touchdowns. The Broncos got 1 on the first drive of the fourth, and then the Giants immediately responded with this total freak play of their own.
Dobbins a block to the end zone, deflected, and did Franklin get it on the ricochet? Touchdown, Denver! On the deflected ball! Scatterboo the back, 3rd and 17. And he'll gonna pass, caught on the ricochet. It's grabbed here by the galloping Johnson. He'll be chased to the play by Barron. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown!
The only thing crazier than those 2 plays is that they happen on consecutive drives. As insane as those plays were, it's still not as insane as the Giants scoring the go-ahead. They went ahead with 37 seconds left, and they still lost. Even more insane than that, it's the second time already this season the Giants have scored the go-ahead touchdown in the last 40 seconds, and they lost the game. That's the margin between this team being 4-3 instead of where they currently stand, 2-5. So on the one hand, at least you can still feel very good about Jackson Dart, despite that late pick. You can still feel great about him, Giant fan. The only problem there is if Dart winds up saving Dable's ass. Because as exciting as the Giants' future looks, it's still pretty tough to get too excited about anything led by Brian Dable and Joe Shane. Thankfully, Giant fan does not have to watch Russet anymore, which sort of bummed out Sean Payton. Sean Payton seemed really disappointed to miss out on squaring off against his old quarterback after the game. He wanted a piece of that spud.
You know, they found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mayer not too long ago, and I said we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game.
Come on, man. Like Sean Payton is still pissed at Russ. Still holding a grudge. Yeah, man. We want some of that. I went right to the owner and said, man, why not leave that old sack of potatoes out there a few weeks longer? At least until we get a shot at him. I mean, you gotta love Sean Payton going right up to John Mara, being like, man, I really wish you had left that guy in. I really was hoping to see a sack of potatoes back there today in the pocket instead of your young stud. At least it's not personal or petty, and I love both things about it. Fortunately for the Giants, they no longer have a spud playing quarterback. They actually have a pretty exciting quarterback, and Giant fan can definitely feel good about that. They've gone from spud to stud. The head coach, on the other hand, might just be the new sack of potatoes. Here's some good news for you Giants fans. As humiliating as your loss was, and it was nowhere near as humiliating as what happened to the Raiders yesterday. Yo, bubble yum assassin. You good? You good, dude? Because your team sure as hell isn't. All that Pete Carroll experience just for the Raiders to look like a team coached by somebody with zero experience. Typically, it's hyperbole when you say one NFL team did not even belong on the field with the other. But not this time. The Raiders didn't belong on the field with the Chiefs yesterday. Hell, their last two losses, the Raiders haven't even looked like they belonged in the NFL. AFC West or Big Sky Conference or some high school somewhere. I know any Raider fan that watched that catastrophe would back me up on that. These numbers are insane. Vegas seriously gained 3 first downs for the entire game. 3! Vegas only ran 30 offensive plays the entire game, which happens to be the same number of Kansas City first downs in the game. How is that possible? 30 total Raider plays versus 30 Chiefs first downs. Kansas City outpossessed Vegas by 25 minutes. And add insult to insult, the Raiders also fell for the oldest trick in the book, football's version of the banana in the tailpipe. I can't even imagine Andy Reid and Kermit, how hard they must be laughing right now about how this went down and they pulled it off.
They're going for it on their own 40 on 4th and a foot.
Tried to draw him offside.
Works, man.
Sorry. Mahomes says, Coach, it doesn't
there they go.
work. He was faking it.
There they
he
go.
Got
You would give it up on that one. You thought for sure it was a draw, didn't you?
The Andy Reid.
Draw him offside.
Unbelievable. Pete Carroll even knows this.
You see Pete's face. You see Pete's face after the frog did him. So they're faking like they're trying to draw them offside. You know, going some hard count. And then Kerm throws his hands up and they get him on mic saying, this bleeping never bleeping works. And then they run the play. This bleeping never bleeping works except for when you're playing the Raiders, and then it works every single time. Then again, what isn't working against the Raiders right now? They can't even get a first down. They can't even make a stop. The quarterback is straight ass. The head coach just sounds shocked and confused every time he hits the podium.
This was a game that the net didn't see coming. We had prepared really well. We were tuned into it, and I couldn't imagine that the guys that weren't able to play in this game would make that much of a factor. I just didn't feel that in our preparation. But they're a terrific team. They did everything like they do, and they played really well in all phases and kept us totally at bay. We couldn't make first down and couldn't get off the field, and they just did like they do.
Yo, Pops, you're not making any sense at all. at all, at all. They just do like they do. They just do like they do. Right. So if they just do like they do, how come you didn't see it coming? He started that statement by saying, we didn't see this coming. Why not? The Colts did you the same way a couple of weeks earlier. And how can you stand up there in front of the media and try and tell us you didn't see Kermit and the Chiefs coming? Because if you didn't see Kermit and the Chiefs coming, you're the only one. I think everybody else knew that steamroller was headed right in your direction. What's Pete going to tell us next? That he didn't realize that Mahomes sounds like a frog? I know one thing he didn't see. He didn't see the frog faking him out on 4th down. They're the Chiefs. They're the Chiefs, and they did exactly what you'd expect, but you didn't see it coming. That does not reflect well on you at all, Gum Assassin. What are you going to try and tell me? We didn't see that ass kicking coming? How could you not see that coming? Based on what? Who you beat last week? What did that matter? How about the week before? How about your entire body of work this year? How could you not see this coming? And nobody wants to hear how beat up the Raiders are either. Who's not busted up right now? Kyle Shanahan is out here winning every single week with whoever happens to be available, and the speed talker wants us to feel badly that his guys are banged up. Man, get the hell out of here with that, Peter. You were supposed to change everything. The culture, the mindset, the energy, everything. Nothing has changed. It's only gotten worse. You better coach him up, old man. You better coach him up. You know this. You know what you should do? You should go back to your USC days and go to all those crazy, wacky, motivational ploys. Do whatever you got to do. Throw, I don't know, a Mark Davis dummy off the roof and freak everybody out like you did back in the day at USC. Remember when you threw Lendale off the roof or whoever you threw off the roof? Maybe if the guys thought that the bowl cut was so upset that he jumped off of one of the hotels, then they would actually show up. The Gum Assassin seems completely lost, but at least he's not the only one. Looking at you, Aaron Glenn, a.k.a. the dude who just lost his first 7 games as an NFL head coach. You remember last week when Aaron Glenn was outraged at the very notion that he would even consider benching Justin Fields? Remember he got into that one reporter like, why? It's only one game. One bad game. You know better than that. Yeah, well, Aaron, what kind of question is that? Well, what kind of answer was that, Aaron? Because you turned around, you benched him a half a game later. Oh, we would never bench a game after one bad game, but we will after a game and a half. He benched him after the first half. So why was that such a horrible question last week, but one half later, you did exactly what that person asked you about? You benched the quarterback. Unfortunately for the Jets, it didn't really help at all because the Aaron Glenn Jets are a joke and a disgrace no matter who's playing quarterback. Way to let the Panthers get above 500 for the first time in over 4 years. Good job, good effort. Jets, good job, good effort. Now apparently the word out of New York is Glenn is safe no matter what. No matter what happens this season, which is really pretty lame considering how absolutely lost this guy looks and sounds. He admitted he's calling around the league asking people, well, what should I do with the quarterback? How should I handle this quarterback situation? I'll put it to you this way. Maybe I'll start to believe that he'll get another year when he finally wins one single game. How about that? Win a game. And you're going to tell me at 0-7 he's safe? Yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath either. Now, the real shocker in all of this is that Coach McVape is still the head coach of the Miami Dolphins right now. I don't really understand how. I don't really understand why. Especially after he had to bench Tua turn the ball over. After Tua turned the ball over 3 times with 3 hideous picks against the Browns. This guy's never looked worse. Tua looks terrible. You know why Tua looks terrible? Because right now Tua is terrible. He's playing terribly. Typically, it's a pretty good sign that things are bottoming out when you make the Browns, look like the Chiefs. Yo, McVape, I want to check in with you on something. Is 1-6 worse than 0-1? Just checking.
The good news and the positive is I don't see how it could be worse.
He said that when they were 0-1. The good news is I don't see how it could be worse. I don't know, Mike. I mean, I know you're Ivy and all, and I'm just UC. 1-6 seems a lot worse than 0-1. But I never did well in calculus. Even Mike McDaniel has to be sitting in his office today looking around like, how the hell is this still my office? The hell do I have to do to get run? What am I doing here? Why are they going to drag my corpse across the rest of the schedule? Like, what am I doing? What are we doing here? What am I doing here? What am I here for? Why have they not fired me yet? When are they going to fire me? The hell do I have to do to get fired around here? Now, honestly, I really did actually bury the lead because the biggest news of the day is the big news in the XR4 Ti, and the biggest topic on the show is always the show itself. Alvy, congrats on your first career NFL win. Granted, you didn't do very much, but it's a win anyway. I mean, you weren't even on the field for 3 of the 4 Browns touchdowns, but that's okay. You're the winning QB of record. The important thing is, Alvy, you are making good decisions. You're taking care of the rock. You are. I mean, you're not Dak Prescott. But you do now have your first NFL win, so congrats on that, Alvy. Good job. And by the way, congrats to Dak. Man, Dak is on one. There is nobody in the NFL playing better than Dak over the past month. And George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are looking like a legitimately devastating combination of weapons. These are the very best weapons Dak has ever had in Dallas. And on top of that, Dak is healthy. So naturally, he's playing the best ball of his entire career. He is. You see, Jera, it's not all negative. I can be objective. I can give you positive run. I can always be objective about the Cowboys. Just like I can give you credit for that George Pickens trade. In fact, that pick trade was almost as good as the Micah trade was horrible. Now, just imagine that you had this offense and also still had Mr. First Career 3-sack game as well. Think about how scary the Cowboys might be then. Because this Cowboys offense really might be good enough to chase some brand new glory hole days. Unfortunately, Jera, your defense is still us. If you're still with us, Jera, if you can follow this, you tell me what's better. Glory hole or glory crack? Because that offense may actually lend itself to a moment or two of the glory hole, whatever that is. But that defense is still just ass, meaning more glory crack for you, as in crack.
Crack is whack.
It is whack, and so is your defense. But damn, Dak's playing well. Dak is playing really well. All right, so there's an NFL whip for you. Didn't even cover everything that happened, but covered a whole lot.